The 89th minute of a tied match. Naoki received the ball near midfield, and the world came to a halt. His eyes ignited with an unnatural white light. Every opponent on the field froze, mid-step like statues. For Naoki, the pitch had become a gallery of wax figures. He weaved through them effortlessly, a ghost in cleats. The ball kissed the back of the net. The scoreboard flipped to 1-0, but this time, the surge of pain was different. It wasn't a headache. It was a detonation behind his eyes. He collapsed to the turf, his fingers clawing at his temples as if trying to stop his brain from imploding. On the sideline, team manager Akari saw him go down. She broke into a sprint, her clipboard clattering to the ground.
Naoki, hold on, I am coming.
Naoki's world had dissolved into white-hot static. The roar of the crowd was a distant rumble under the blazing floodlights. The goal stood, but the nightmare had only just begun. It started when Naoki was 10, in a school race. Mid-stride, the other children became motionless. He didn't understand. The world had stopped, but he could move. Then, the first headache stabbed his eyes. Now, at 18, the cost was impossible to ignore. After every match, the pain lasted longer.
Naoki, your post-match neural readings are off the charts. The spike duration tripled in the last month.
It's just my migraines. I've managed them since I was a kid. It's nothing new.
This isn't nothing. You lost consciousness for over 60 seconds last week. That's neurological.
Her tablet displayed a jagged line graph, spikes corresponding exactly to his time freeze uses.
If I can't play, then who am I? Without the freeze, I am just another mediocre midfielder.
I am booking you an MRI with Dr. Sato. This has to be investigated. No more delays.
Naoki opened his mouth to argue, but the memory of that white-hot detonation silenced him. A week later, in a tense qualifier, Naoki activated the freeze without hesitation. The result was inevitable. He ghosted through the frozen defense and placed the ball in the corner. The net bulged, but his body knew the cost. The pain hit before the celebration. His vision splintered into white and black, and the world tilted sideways. Coach Yamada saw the telltale stagger and was already signaling the bench, his face red with urgency.
Get him off. Now, substitution. This isn't up for debate.
Naoki was helped off, his legs unsteady. On the bench, he refused to look at anyone, a towel draped over his head.
I am calling Dr. Sato right now. This has gone too far, Naoki. You can't keep doing this to yourself.
You are not stepping on that field until you are cleared by a specialist. That's an order, Naoki.
Without it, I am nothing. But this is becoming my cage. What if they find something that ends it all?
The stadium lights felt like interrogators. The appointment was set for the next morning, and the truth was finally coming. The next morning, Naoki sat in Dr. Sato's office, the hum of the MRI still echoing in his skull.
Your scans show abnormal neural activation during cognitive stress. It's not a migraine, it's structural.
She projected a brain scan onto the wall, clusters of hyperactivity flaring and fading like dying stars. While Naoki was being tested, Akari was digging through sports medicine archives, her hunch turning into dread. She found footage of a rival player named Tatsuya, dribbling through opponents with an unnatural, accelerated rhythm.
Naoki, look at this. He's called Tatsuya. His nickname is Time Burst. He speeds up his own perception to counter plays.
So what? Just another trick player. Probably just trained reaction speed. Nothing like my freeze.
But his medical history is sealed. No known neurological disorders. Yet his stats are superhuman. Don't you see the pattern?
I see a rival trying to make a name. Let him. My only problem is a migraine.
But Akari had already found the first thread of a hidden lineage. Tatsuya's condition was a darker mirror, and Naoki was refusing to see his own reflection. The league match against Cairo Academy began with unbearable tension. Coach allowed Naoki to play, but only on a strict no-freeze protocol. But in the 70th minute, with the score deadlocked, Naoki's eyes betrayed him. The world froze, and he started his ghost dribble. From the corner of his vision, a blur of red defied the stillness. Tatsuya's eyes blazed crimson, moving at impossible speed.
Your little trick is cute, but I don't live in your frozen world.
He can see me. Move when no one else can. That's not possible, unless...
We're the same. Number 11. The blood remembers what the mind forgets.
The play collapsed. Naoki stood motionless as Tatsuya stripped the ball and launched a lethal counterattack.
Ask your family about the Ishida syncope. Then we'll talk again.
Ishida syncope. That name stirs something buried. What did he mean by the blood remembers?
That night, Naoki stared at his phone. A message to Akari half-typed, "Find everything on Tatsuya." The mirror was showing cracks. By morning, Akari had compiled a folder of leaked abstracts. Tatsuya's medical truth was dark confirmation.
He's losing his sight, progressive retinal decay from overusing his time burst. The same neural burn you have.
Acceleration damage. My freeze isn't straining my eyes, but the pattern, it's too similar. You are connecting dots that aren't there. Tatsuya's condition is optical. Mine is just migraines.
Temporal lobe hyperstimulation is the common link. Every freeze burns neurons. Yours are lasting longer.
That afternoon, practice was a fog. Naoki's limbs were heavy, but he pushed through the routine. Then, mid-dribble, his brain shut down. He crashed to the turf, unconscious for 87 seconds.
That's it. No more field time until a full medical panel clears you. I mean it, Naoki.
In the trainer's room, Akari and coach clashed. Medical evidence versus hardline authority.
This one was worse. If I could shorten the freeze, maybe the damage wouldn't accumulate.
A formal notice was posted in the locker room. Naoki Ishida. Medical suspension, indefinite. He was barred from all facilities.
Indefinite. Like I am a faulty part to be replaced. They don't get it.
Kenji found him brooding in the hallway, but every word of support was met with a cold wall.
Hey, man, I know this is rough, but you are not alone, okay?
Save it. I don't need sympathy. Just leave me alone.
By evening, Akari had scheduled the full neurological panel. The appointment was set for the next morning.
This is the only way forward, Naoki. If you want to play again, you have to face the truth.
Truth? It'll just be the death sentence for my career. But what choice do I have?
The next day, Kenji waited outside the hospital. He didn't speak. He simply fell into step beside Naoki. Naoki walked through the glass doors, the promise of a diagnosis on the other side. After the comprehensive neurological panel, Naoki sank into a chair in the hospital waiting area. The fluorescent lights hummed. A shadow fell over him. Tatsuya stood there, not in his red kit, but in a black cap and dark glasses.
They ran the genetic marker test, didn't they? They'll find the Ishida variant.
Ishida variant. He's using our family name. How does he know?
Our grandmother, Naoki. She passed down a curse, a mutation in the temporal lobe. We're cousins, the only two left.
Tatsuya removed his glasses. His eyes were unfocused, the irises clouded. A roadmap of neural decay.
I can barely see your face. That's what waiting did to me. Don't be like me.
Cousins. And he's proof of what this ability costs. But without it, I am nothing.
Naoki felt the cold grip of a shared bloodline. The medical test results were now only a formality. Tatsuya walked away, leaving Naoki alone with the unforgiving calculus of his future. After leaving the hospital, Naoki couldn't shake the image of Tatsuya's clouded eyes. The silence pressed on him.
If I use it for just a split second, maybe the damage won't trigger. A microdose.
That evening, he found an empty training ground. He dribbled alone under the floodlights, then willed the world to stop for a heartbeat. The freeze lasted half a breath, But the familiar stab behind his eyes was immediate, sharper than before.
Even a microdose. It's like the mutation has a minimum toll. This can't be the only way.
The next morning, Akari confronted Coach Yamada in his office. She held a tablet with preliminary scan data.
The results are back tomorrow. We can't make any decision until we understand the full extent.
I won't risk his life for a game. If the scans show damage, he's done. No arguments.
Naoki, standing in the hallway, overheard the ultimatum. His solo experiment had already proven the risk. He returned to the training ground, staring at the grass where he'd collapsed. The scan tomorrow would decide everything. The next morning, in Dr. Sato's office, the final scan results filled the screen. Naoki's hands were ice cold.
The genetic marker confirms a Shida variant. Your temporal lobe is showing early neurodegeneration.
The scan highlighted clusters of dead neurons, like black holes in a constellation.
Every time you freeze, you burn a handful of neurons. Continued use will lead to a vegetative state.
So, it's not just a crutch. It's a time bomb wired to my brain.
If you stop now, the damage may stabilize. But one more significant freeze could be irreversible.
But the final is next week. I can't just abandon my team.
Naoki, please, if you freeze one more time, you could lose everything. Your mind, your future.
The words vegetative state echoed like a death knell. Naoki stared at the medical report, his dream colliding with his reality. He walked out of the office in a daze. The final match was days away, and he had no answer. 3 days before the final, Naoki sat in the stands at Cairo Stadium, watching Tatsuya's semi-final match. Tatsuya was dominating until the 85th minute. His eyes flickered, and he collapsed mid-sprint, clutching his face. The stadium fell silent. Medics rushed onto the field, but Tatsuya's hands dropped, revealing vacant, unfocused eyes.
He said he was almost blind. This is the end of the line. The Ishida Syncope's final stage.
Akari, beside him, covered her mouth. She had predicted this, but seeing it was another kind of horror.
If I freeze in the final, that's me. A shell of a player trapped in a body that won't respond. I won't use the freeze. Not in the final, not ever again. I'll play as myself.
Naoki, can you really win without it? The final is everything.
I don't know, but I'd rather lose as myself than win as a prisoner of my own mind.
He stood up, his legs unsteady, but his decision final. The hardest thing now was convincing everyone else. 2 days before the final, Naoki joined team practice. The ball felt alien on his feet. A simple pass went astray. A defender read his hesitation and intercepted. The team's silence was louder than any jeer.
Come on, Naoki. Shake it off. You've got the skill. Just let it flow.
Easy for you to say. I've been relying on a cheat code my whole life. Without it, I am just slow. One micro freeze just to see the angles. Number. That's how it starts.
Your post-training scans are stable. No new damage. But your confidence is gone.
What if I can't contribute anything? What if I am just holding the team back?
Then you'll be holding them back as Naoki, not as a time bomb. That's more than you gave before.
I saw the practice. It was ugly, but I am not cutting you, because for the first time, you are fighting with your own 2 legs.
His words stung, but underneath, maybe that's the first honest thing anyone said.
Late that night, in the darkness of his room, Naoki's phone lit up. A message from Tatsuya, still recovering in the hospital. Don't end up like me. Trust what you have. The blood gave us a curse, but we are not our blood.
He's fighting with his last words. If he can still believe, then so can I.
The next morning, Coach Yamada summoned the team to the locker room. The final decision was about to be announced.
I've watched Naoki struggle, and I've seen him refuse the easy path. That's why he's starting tomorrow.
I won't use the freeze. I'll play with everything I honestly have.
Honest football is the only kind that lasts. Now go win it.
Akari, standing in the back, pressed her lips together and nodded once. Her worry hadn't faded, but her pride had grown. Kenji threw an arm around Naoki. The squad, once doubtful, now stood behind their number 11.
No more crutches, no more borrowed time. This is my game.
The championship final. Naoki and Kenji stepped out of the tunnel into a wall of noise, the pitch a cathedral of pressure. From the kickoff, Naoki opted for safety. A 5-yard pass to Kenji, then a quick back heel to the fullback. The opponents were physical. A sliding tackle from behind sent him sprawling into the grass, his knee stinging.
One micro freeze and I'd make him look like a statue. Stop it. That's the old ghost talking.
Midway through the half, the team scored from a corner. The stadium erupted, but the lead was fragile.
You are holding the shape. Don't chase the ball. Trust the system.
But before the whistle, the opposition carved through the defense and equalized. 1-1. Naoki could only watch.
One freeze at the right moment. Number. The scans. Tatsuya's eyes. This is the test.
In the tunnel, Coach Yamada huddled them. Akari stood at the edge, her knuckles white. She caught Naoki's eye and nodded.
45 minutes without the freeze. Can I do another 45?
The second half was a calculated assault. The defense closed down Naoki's space, fouling him at every turn. A defender barged into him, then leaned close. The venomous whisper cut through the crowd noise.
Your freeze is gone. Number 11. You are just a slow, scared kid without it.
Naoki's temper erupted. A white heat blazed in his irises, and the world around him began to slow. Through the haze, he caught Akari's frantic stare from the sideline. Her hands were pressed to her mouth.
Not today. Not like this. I won't become a ghost for her to mourn.
Minutes later, Naoki drove into the box and was hacked down. The referee pointed to the penalty spot. He placed the ball himself, the weight of the match pressing on his shoulders. The run-up was long, the strike rushed. The ball rocketed over the crossbar. A collective groan swept the stadium like a wave.
I crumbled under my own weight. The freeze stayed buried, but so did the victory.
The missed penalty was a psychological blow. The opposition, sensing blood, surged forward in an all-out assault. In the 86th minute, a slick passing move carved the defense open. The striker smashed the ball into the net, unmarked. Naoki stood rooted to the spot, his eyes fixed on the scoreboard. The numbers flipped mercilessly. 1-2. The clock showed 88 to 52. The final was slipping away like sand through clenched fingers. A memory surfaced unbidden. Tatsuya's clouded eyes, his final warning echoing, "Don't be like me."
One full freeze. I could waltz through them and equalize, but it would be the last thing I ever see.
On the sideline, Akari had her hands pressed together, her whisper almost audible. "Please, Naoki."
If I freeze, I save the game, but sacrifice my mind. If I don't, we lose and I live with the guilt.
The ball went out for a throw-in. Time was a merciless metronome, each second clanging like a funeral bell.
What is a life without soccer? What is a mind without a choice? And what is a victory that turns you into a ghost?
The emotional weight crushed him. Naoki's knees buckled, his hands clamping onto his head. Not from a freeze, just pure, unfiltered despair. Akari sprinted onto the pitch, pushing past an official. She dropped to her knees beside him, her voice cracking.
That's it. I am taking you off. You can't keep destroying yourself for this.
Naoki looked up, his eyes bloodshot but calm. He slowly shook his head, a quiet resolve settling over his features.
Number. I am staying. I've made my choice.
In the depths of his mind, Tatsuya's words flickered like a distant signal. Trust what you are, not what you were cursed with.
He trusted me before I trusted myself. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of something real.
Coach Yamada started to signal for a substitution, but Akari held up her hand, stopping him. She saw something shift in Naoki's eyes. Naoki rose to his feet, ignoring the sway. He positioned the ball for a free kick just outside the box. The wall formed, The stadium held its breath. No glowing eyes, no whisper of the freeze. Just a boy, a ball, and a decision no one could make for him. He took 3 steps back, his gaze fixed on the top corner. No glowing eyes, just raw calculation. His foot connected with a crisp thud. The ball rocketed off his laces, pure and unfrozen. It curled over the leaping wall, defying gravity. A whisper of smoke against the floodlights. From behind the wall, the keeper's despair was frozen in time. Not by a power, but by sheer perfection. The net rustled. The stadium exploded. Naoki dropped to his knees, not from pain, but from a release deeper than his curse. He stared at the ball nestled in the goal, his chest heaving. No sacrifice, no ghost. The scoreboard ticked. 2-2. The impossible had been proven possible. His teammates swarmed him, Kenji hoisting him up. For the first time, the hands on his shoulders felt like freedom, extra time. The match was alive, and so was he. Mind intact, future unburned. Naoki rose to his feet, a quiet smile breaking through. The crutch was gone. The real game had just begun. Extra time began under a brutal sun. Both teams were spent, but Naoki's legs still moved with a quiet purpose. He spotted Kenji's run, threading a pass through a needle's eye. Kenji's volley soared past the post by a hair. The chance evaporated, but Naoki didn't flinch. He wiped the sweat from his brow and kept running. The final whistle blew. The match stood at 2-2. The championship would be decided from the penalty spot. Naoki stood with his teammates at the center circle, arms linked, as the first takers walked forward. Akari watched from the sideline, her fingers intertwined, her lips mouthing silent prayers. One by one, the penalties were converted. The score tied again at 4-4. The final kick would fall to Naoki. He walked alone to the penalty box. No glowing eyes, just the sound of his own breath and the distant roar. He slowly placed the ball on the spot, his hands steady. The keeper loomed, but Naoki saw only the net. The referee's whistle cut the silence. The final moment of the cursed gift was now his to seize. He took a deep breath, his run-up short and direct, no hesitation, no freezing. Just a man and his moment. The strike was clean. A low drive to the right corner. The keeper guessed wrong, sprawled helplessly on the turf. The ball smashed into the net. Naoki wheeled away, arms spread, a silent scream on his lips. His teammates erupted from the center circle, but he dropped to his knees, overcome by a storm of relief and pain.
You insane, beautiful fool. You didn't use it. Not even a flicker.
Not a single neuron burned. I am battered, but unbowed.
Coach Yamada hoisted the trophy, tears in his eyes. The squad bounced around him, a chaos of joy. Naoki, still on his knees, felt Akari's arms wrap around him from behind. Her tears soaked his jersey.
I won't know the full damage until the scans. But tonight, I am here. I am whole.
The stadium roared, a cathedral of triumph. The curse was quiet, and for now that was enough. The next morning, Naoki lay in a quiet recovery room, the trophy gleaming on the table beside him. Akari sat at the foot of the bed, watching the door nervously until Dr. Sato entered with a tablet.
The post-match scans are clear. No new neurodegeneration. You preserved your mind, Naoki.
Naoki's shoulders dropped. The truth he'd been terrified to hope for was finally real. Door slid open again. Tatsuya, guided by a nurse, stepped into the room. His dark glasses could not hide the peace on his face.
He felt that free kick through the broadcast. No freeze. You listened.
I almost didn't. But your words, they were louder than the pain.
This is enough for me. To know the curse ends with me, and you are free.
Tatsuya extended his hand, and Naoki clasped it without hesitation. In that small room, two cousins found a truce deeper than blood, a promise that the future would be written in normal time. Months later, the training ground was bathed in the gold of a setting sun. Naoki juggled the ball, a faint smile on his lips. No trace of the freeze, no trace of fear.
No more headaches, no more blackouts. Just the rhythm of my own 2 feet.
In the stands, Akari clapped softly, her eyes bright with a pride she didn't need to voice. She had watched him almost destroy himself. Now she watched him live. After training, they walked off together, the ball tucked under his arm.
Tatsuya was right. The gift was never the freeze. It was the will to let it go.
The field behind them stretched into the dusk, empty and silent, a canvas waiting for the next chapter, one written entirely in normal time, and Naoki Ishida was finally ready to write it.